Ladies and gentlemen, the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam has failed the test of Lok Sabha. But what has unfolded is not just a historic special session of the parliament, but what has also unfolded is a North versus South debate like never before. But first, let's just get you the big numbers. A total of 528 votes, the majority mark at around 352, the ayes at 298, the noes at 230. The big numbers really that we are looking at. Amit Shah, just before the voting, said, "The opposition is not against our intent. It's against women's reservation." He went on to say, "Make no mistake, opposition is against women and women's reservation. Opposition to delimitation means opposing SC/ST seat expansion. Caste census is already ongoing. Caste enumeration to be included in the upcoming exercise, and that's when the details of the SC/ST, Dalit communities and other details of people, their identity specifics are taken." Amit Shah went on to say, "We should rise above an attempt to fragment this country over a North-South narrative." He tore into the opposition, accusing the opposition of creating a North-South divide, saying we will not let that happen. Amit Shah went on to say that, "I want to make it clear that South representation will not come down after delimitation. I can guarantee that. Members from South India have the same rights as members from North in the parliament. Congress opposing OBCs blocking women's quota for 3 decades. Amit Shah went on to say that bill is again being stalled on the basis of kintu parantu agar magar. The women of this country are also watching those who are blocking their road. Come what may, women's reservation will be enforced." Before we go on to listen to what the counter has been, let's listen into what Amit Shah said.
तो महिला आरक्षण के लिए जो संविधान संशोधन है, इसका किसी ने विरोध नहीं किया है। सबने बोलने के लिए तो बोला है कि हम महिला आरक्षण के पक्ष में है। ये संविधान संशोधन जो आया है उसका हम स्वागत करते हैं, मगर उसको बारीकी से देखें तो इंडी अलायंस के सभी सदस्यों ने अगर मगर किंतु परंतु इसका उपयोग कर स्पष्ट रूप से महिला आरक्षण का विरोध किया है। 127 सीटें ऐसी हैं जहां 20 लाख से ज्यादा वोटर। अब इसमें एक व्यक्ति, एक मत और एक मूल्य, इस सिद्धांत का पूर्णतया उल्लंघन होता है। कहीं पर तो 45 लाख मतदाताओं के समूह को एक प्रतिनिधि मिला है और कहीं पर 6 लाख मतदाताओं के समूह को एक प्रतिनिधि मिला है। तो मत का मूल्य जो एक होना चाहिए वो नहीं हुआ है मान्यवर। और मैं विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि डिलिमिटेशन के लिए ये लोग सहयोग कर दे, हमें भरोसा करें और डिलिमिटेशन करने दें तो ये मूल्य एक समान हो जाए। मैं इसके इतिहास में भी जाना चाहता हूं। सबसे पहले 1972 में तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी जी की सरकार ने परिसीमन विधेयक लाकर सीटों को 525 से बढ़ाकर 545 की और फिर इसको फ्रीज कर दिया। 76 में सत्ता बचाने के लिए इमरजेंसी के काल में 42वें संशोधन द्वारा परिसीमन पर रोक लगा दी। अब इंदिरा जी तो प्रधानमंत्री थी, कानून लाकर रोक लगाई परिसीमन पर। और ये देखिए साहब कितने शक्तिशाली है, विपक्ष में बैठकर परिसीमन पर रोक लगाना चाहते हैं। मगर उस वक्त भी कांग्रेस पार्टी ने ही परिसीमन से देश की जनता को वंचित रखा था और आज भी कांग्रेस पार्टी ही परिसीमन से वंचित रख रही है।
Well, before Amit Shah, it was Rahul Gandhi who spoke a while before Amit Shah really did speak. And Rahul Gandhi went on to say that there is no way that the opposition will stand in support of what the centre wants to do. Because Rahul Gandhi said this is Manuvad over Samvidhan. This is not about a women's bill. This has nothing to do with empowerment of women, and the entire opposition will stand together to defeat this bill. Government trying to rejig Indian political map. He went on to accuse the government of trying to rejig, redraw the electoral map of India and trying to bypass OBCs and Dalits, trying to avoid giving them power and representation. Rahul Gandhi said, bring back 2023 Women's Bill and we will help you pass it for implementation this very second. But attempt to change country's electoral map by hiding behind India's women is not something that we will accept.
संविधान पर आक्रमण था और इसको हमने हरा दिया है। हमने क्लियरली बोला है कि ये महिला बिल नहीं है, ये हिंदुस्तान का राजनीतिक जो स्ट्रक्चर है, इलेक्टोरल स्ट्रक्चर है, उसको बदलने की कोशिश है। ये हमने रोक दिया है और मैं अभी कह रहा हूँ, प्रधानमंत्री से कह रहा हूँ, अगर आप महिला बिल चाहते हैं 2023 का महिला बिल निकालिए, उसको उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आज से करिए और पूरा का पूरा ऑपोजिशन 100% आपको समर्थन देगा और महिला बिल हम इमीडिएट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करा देंगे।
Well, there have been very sharp reactions to this. There have been sharp reactions from the opposition as well as from the Treasury benches. Priyanka Gandhi, soon after the bill was defeated in Lok Sabha, said those who did not take any action in Hathras, Unnao and Manipur are talking about anti-women mindset. Mamta Banerjee has spoken to News 9. There are others who have spoken. Let's just very quickly listen in.
ये आरक्षण की बात नहीं थी, ये देश के लोकतंत्र की बात थी, ये देश की अखंडता की बात थी। हम कभी इससे सहमत नहीं हो सकते कि आप इस महिला आरक्षण को इस तरह से परिसीमन से जोड़ें कि वो पुरानी जनगणना पर चले जिसमें ओबीसी शामिल भी नहीं है। तो ये मुमकिन ही नहीं था कि ये बिल पारित हो और मेरे ख्याल से हमारे देश के लोकतंत्र के लिए, हमारे देश की अखंडता के लिए ये एक बहुत बड़ी जीत है।
It's a humiliation for the women. Delimitation bill is a different subject and Mahila bill is a different subject. I fully support the Mahila bill. It was already passed. As it is, you can do it. All the political parties should have supported it.
जो हमारा पक्ष था वो हमने अपना पक्ष बिल्कुल साफ रखा है और लगता तो ये कि फिर गाड़ी थमी रह गई, लगता कोशिश में कुछ कमी रह गई होगी। और हम महिला आरक्षण के पक्ष में हैं। महिलाओं को आरक्षण मिले, उनको सुरक्षा मिले, उनका सम्मान बढ़े, उनको स्थान मिले और लोकतंत्र में जो उनको स्थान मिलना चाहिए उसके पक्ष में।
Well, M.K. Stalin, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, has made a very strong post on social media saying the bill brought against Tamil Nadu has been defeated in Parliament. This victory is just a trailer. Next, the election is approaching. I have said it before, it is Tamil Nadu versus Delhi. Tamil Nadu has defeated Delhi. We are going to win more than 200 seats. Let us continue to work and secure our victory. I'm being joined at this point by Surbhi Hodigere, who is a spokesperson for BJP. Chitra Batham Keher joins us, who is a spokesperson for Congress. Dr. Nimi Rastogi, who is a spokesperson for Aam Aadmi Party, joins us. I'm also being joined by Thoya Jakshi Shekhar from Chennai, as well as Gautam Shankar, my colleague from Bengaluru. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining me. Thoya Jakshi, first to you. A very fierce response from M.K. Stalin on a day that has not seen, in fact, possibly the parliament has not seen a fierce North versus South the way we have witnessed it over the last 48 hours?
Well, of course, Sneha, M.K. Stalin, while speaking at an election campaign where he has said that the resolution introduced in the parliament against Tamil Nadu has been defeated, calling it a significant victory for the Tamil Nadu state. He has also described the outcome as only a preview of a much larger electoral success. His party expects in the coming days, because you see just 5 more days left for the Tamil Nadu going into polls. Referring to this broader political context, where he has also said that the question of Tamil Nadu versus Delhi, has been decisively answered in their favor, because he has also called that this victory is their first victory, and their second victory would be they winning more than 200 constituencies in the upcoming elections, where Stalin has also mentioned that thanking his supporters, urging that he would continue to put all the effort to save the Tamil Nadu from the center. And he has also spoken about the delimitation, where he has said that BJP's plan to make sure that South suffers again because of the delimitation, but where M.K. Stalin has also slammed at the center, calling it whatever protest that the DMK is doing against the delimitation. It is not just a protest, but he calls it a war between the Tamil Nadu and Delhi. So, he has also put out a post saying that burning out the copy of delimitation bill, where he has also he calls it as a black law, because from the time center started to try to implement this delimitation, the state government in Tamil Nadu is continuously opposing. But you also see that all the 40 MPs in Tamil Nadu, from Tamil Nadu, who has been in Delhi for the last 2 days, where they have been protesting against this delimitation by wearing black dresses inside the parliament. And today, even the Kanimuri Karunanidhi, who had also stated that the delimitation bill, the center is trying to bring it, putting forward the women's reservation as its shield. So these kind of comments have been passing a truth at the parliament today. But on the other hand, we see that Chief Minister M.K. Stalin sometime back here made sure that this would be the first victory, and the second victory would be the Tamil Nadu elections, Sneha.
Thoya, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Gautam, North versus South like never before. Let's just break this down, Gautam. D.K. Shivakumar has said that this is a victory of the South. You've had the strongest voices from Tamil Nadu, and of course, M.K. Stalin did not mince his word when he said in the middle of elections, my MPs are going to be in the parliament. He did not mince his words when he spoke about that. You've had very strong resistance from other states as well. In fact, even in Andhra Pradesh, they wanted to have a sense of what's the numbers and the facts about this bill. Have you seen something like this in terms of a North versus South debate? Of course, language has been there, region differences have been there, money has been there, but such a vociferous debate when it came to what was supposed to be a Nari Shakti bill, eventually coming into a delimitation, and a massive, massive North-South, both Prime Minister Amit Shah taking much pains to tear into what they said was the propaganda of the opposition. Have they managed to succeed?
Yes, like you said, this is quite a watershed moment in the history of Indian politics, because what we witnessed on TV today as the debates were going on is that for the first time in 12 years since coming to power, the India government found itself on the back foot in the Lok Sabha, because Narendra Modi government hasn't really had to face this kind of situation in the lower house. And following the defeat of this constitutional amendment bill, basically now it has given this issue on the platter for the South Indian state, and especially poll-bound Tamil Nadu, for the DMK to say that, yes, we have won in this fight between Tamil Nadu and the rest of India, or the North India, or Delhi is how this fight was projected. M.K. Stalin has been leading the fight from his end, but not to forget that Revant Reddy has been writing letters to unify all of the CMs here as well. Siddaramaiah and also D.K. Shivakumar have been leading the fight. M.K. Stalin has been writing articles in multiple newspapers as well. Now, given the assurances that were given as well by both Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah that a 50% expansion formula would be like a peace offering, that no state, even Tamil Nadu, would not lose absolute seats. However, the South or Tamil Nadu saw through this math, and what it does is basically gives this election sort of a big push for the DMK,
Right.
and they're going to really bank on this. And we can already see from this kind of statements that have been made by M.K. Stalin that they're going to use this as a sort of platform to really springboard on this elections. Yes, Neha.
Right, Gautam, thank you very much for joining us on this. Gautam and Thoya giving us a plain view of really what's happening politically in southern states. Surabhi Hodiger, if I can come to you at this point, what do you make out of this? You know, strong words. Prime Minister saying, I guarantee. You want a guarantee, I'll give you a guarantee. You want a promise, I'll give you a promise. You want my word, I'll give you my word. Amit Shah reiterating the same tone and tenor. But that seems to have failed the test of the floor in Lok Sabha. You'll have to unmute yourself, ma'am.
Thank you for your question. I want to start off by saying that I am also in South India. I'm
Absolutely.
in Karnataka.
And that's why you're here on this
traveling the
debate.
country for the last 1 week, traveling my state for the last 1 week. So I'm, continuously speaking to women about the reservation bill, having a conversation. What Stalin says does not represent South India. What Mr. D.K. Shivakumar says does not represent the views of women of South India. Sorry to say that. They might have an opinion, and their opinion is truly borders on the lines of threatening, of being pushing the idea of secession in the country. This is the language that they use, continuously use. You tell me that delimitation is a threat to the southern states' representation in parliament. What happens when the freeze ends? The Home Minister, the Prime Minister has offered a very fair formula. In fact, southern states gain from this versus if delimitation is done basis of what the 27 census will be. Total fertility rate across South India has fallen since 2011 to 2026 as per the population projection report. So on what basis are you okay with delimitation when a delimitation on the basis of it favoring southern states is presented to you, but you say no to it? And then you tell me that we are bundling women reservation with delimitation. Let me remind you that in 2023, when you voted in favor of this bill, it was already linked. What we are trying to do here today is that we are trying to ensure that it gets implemented in 2029 so that women, young women of this country can immediately, in the next election cycle, Lok Sabha cycle, be members of parliament. That is what we are attempting to do. Rahul Gandhi's statements are absurd. What is it that he is questioning in this bill? What are you trying to say that we are not going to let it happen? Your party, the Congress party, has a history of not supporting the women's reservation bill when it was proposed by the NDA government. Your own party supported it only because it was linked to delimitation and no seats were going to be taken away from existing MPs. You have supported it in 2023. We are saying we will implement it in 2029. We are
Chitra Bhatam, Kahed, respond please.
Also coming to you with folded hands and saying on behalf of the women of the country, put credit aside. We will give you the credit. Pass the reservation amendment bill. Pass it.
Okay, here's the thing. You know, to what
stand with
Surabhi is
the
saying, and my
blocked
question
it.
is to Chitra. What Surabhi is saying, in fact, the details that we are getting at this point, and let me just read this out to our viewers. The details that we are getting at this point is that the NDA's floor leaders meeting has just come to an end. And they had a discussion about the nationwide campaign with respect to what's happened in Parliament today. And they have said they are going to take the opposition's resistance to the Women's Reservation Bill and its amendment across the country, nationwide, in a big way. So, Chitra Bhatam, two questions to you. One, respond to what Surabhi said, because that's also part of what really echoed in the parliament. They said Congress has a history of freezing seats and the population of this country not getting its rightful representation in accordance to the population. That being one part. And two, was this politics taking over?
Sneha, very good evening to everybody. First of all, let me tell you, I mean, the sheer arrogance that Surabhi is, displaying over here after the futile attempt of proposing the women.
Ma'am, you have denied women the right.
I
Your
kindly
party has
request.
denied women the right. Arrogance? I will be
Don't
angry
interrupt me, ma'am.
today. I am
Don't
angry.
interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. You should have, if you wanted to have a proper women's reservation bill, if you really want to have a genuine empowerment of the women, then you should have called up all party consensus earlier. When you
There
do
was
that,
2
the
days
numbers
of
will not be
debate in
available.
Lok Sabha. We saw what your party believes in. We saw what your party believes in. You have denied women entry into the Lok Sabha. You denied women that.
Mislead the people, but you cannot mislead the opposition of this country.
You are misleading the people, ma'am. Please tell me why you voted against women, 33% women being in the Lok Sabha in 2029.
Who always do credit hogging. You are the ones
Who take the credit, ma'am? Our Prime Minister has said.
All right, ladies, women, Surabhi and Chitra. I think we'll have to only up our standards when it comes to the standards in the parliament. And I think both of you are very strong women. Surabhi, go, Chitra, make your point, please.
All I'm saying is I want to reiterate what my leader of opposition, Shri Rahul Gandhi, has said categorically, that this bill was no women's reservation bill. It was an attack on the constitution. It was an attempt to change the electoral map of this respective nation, and that is what has failed in this respective day to day. So I want to ask you, if you had put the women's reservation bill in cold storage for 2034, why was there a need, first of all, in the today to put it in ill time and inaccurate manner? There was no need. There was no representation of the OBCs, SC, ST over here. If the 2027 caste census anyways is going to happen,
this is wrong
then
information.
why not
SC,
base it on that?
reservation is
Why not
assured.
base it on 27?
Request the anchor to please call it out.
So I think it was completely a confused
SC
attempt.
reservation
and
is
it has been overdone by the
part of
strong
the act
opposition over here.
already. Please request the anchor to call this missing. Point of order, SC/ST reservation was always part of the act. What you have denied today is SC/ST women from entering parliament.
Okay, let me just come in at this point. Chitra, so the earlier and the current bill, they do have reservations. What Amit Shah has tried to tell and the Prime Minister has tried to say, with the numbers that would have increased for women's representation as part of the delimitation and the amendment bill, the fact that it has not been put through or hasn't been allowed to pass in the parliament means that those women from those communities have been denied their rights of representation. Rahul Gandhi saying...
First of all, you have to understand that it took almost 79 years for the women's reservation bill to be tabled in the parliament after so many attempts. And after so many attempts also, if the OBC women were not going to get their share, how many more years do you want us to struggle for our representation? So the very fact was
Chitra,
that...
if you are saying OBC women were not going to get their representation, no, hold it. Chitra, 1 minute. Miss Chitra, 1 minute. If you are saying women OBCs were not going to get their representation, break this down for me. Help me understand. Because this is not what Rahul Gandhi said in the parliament.
No. If you base on 2011 caste census, then definitely there is no data of the OBC
There is no
population.
2011 caste census. There is no 2011 caste census. The caste census is
saying
being done now.
2011 census. The 2027 caste census was anyways going to happen. So why not base on the current data that you would have had in 9
Ma'am,
months?
please try to understand that was always in the act. What we are trying to do here is immediate implementation. That was always in the act. It was
Let me
always
get
in
in
the
Vinita
act.
Hariharan. Let me get in Vinita Hariharan at this point. Vinita Hariharan, come in. Thank you. Vinita Hariharan as well as Dr. Nimi. I know you've been waiting for a while.
Reservation now, you want internal reservation. First approve the reservation. Let it be implemented and then we will
Okay.
bring.
Ms. Chitra, Ms. Surabhi, allow me to get in Vinita Hariharan at this point. Vinita Hariharan, how, as a woman, how are you really looking at what's unfolded in the parliament?
I'm just so dejected and so disappointed, extremely sad that this historic moment has passed by, and so many women have been denied their electoral opportunities because of this delay by stagnating forces in the parliament is what I would say. It was so clearly laid out by Amit Shah and Modi ji himself, in the parliament again and again, reiterating all the subclauses, the clauses. It was all so technically well laid out in the constitution. It was absolutely as per the constitutional framework. It's this constitution which Rahul Gandhi keeps holding in the parliament and says that, we have to follow the constitution. I mean, he doesn't need to say that, but it is absolutely as per the constitutional framework. And when the Women's Reservation Bill in 2023 was passed, it had these three 330A, 332A, and the 334A. All of these were part of the 2023 bill, which was passed unanimously. So why is the opposition crying foul over delimitation when it was already there as part of the Women's Reservation Bill that was passed in 2023? And now they have a problem with delimitation because they have a problem with everything. They have to pinpoint things which are just not which is not substantive at all. Now, when we have an SC/ST reservation, within SC/ST we have women's reservation, then you talk of an OBC. So if now OBC is not there, then they talk of Muslim reservation. This cannot go on and on. We are talking about women's reservation here, for heaven's sake, and it's not, you cannot let the delimitation debate blow over. I mean, completely take over the canvas and relegate the whole debate on women's reservation.
But it was a government that clubbed all three together and brought it in the parliament.
It is not the government. See how, like, when now our number of seats are just 543, pegged to a 1971 census, that was, our population was just 55 crore 10. Now, if you have to do women's reservation, it entails a lot of reallocation of seats. It is based on the revised population figures. And we have to take cognizance of the fact that we are now 1.4 billion from 55 crore. So the parliamentary representation has to definitely be corrected. There has to be a course correction. Delimitation is an integral part of our constitution. So is the opposition now saying that we take the constitution, keep it in the shelf and we do whatever we want? We do laissez-faire and give women reservation wherever they feel like? It's not a joke. It's a complicated canvas in this country, and we have to follow some ethics and some methodology in their allocation, and that's how this methodology has been laid out. First the census and then the delimitation. Only thing asked for in this amendment, in the current amendment in the special session, was to accelerate the entire bill, because otherwise we will have to wait for this current census to be completed and then a delimitation, which means we're going to miss the bill in 2029.
And that's exactly the question what the opposition was asking. Why not build a consensus? Why not get them into confidence and then call for a special session or a discussion? Let me get Dr.
On and on, like they did for so many years.
Dr. Nimi Rastogi, do you want to respond to this? Because the allegation against the Congress really is just this, that this is something that could have been done before, was not done. And now when it wanted to do it, it's been not allowed to be done in the name of delimitation.
So Sneha, anybody who is slightly political astute would know that this entire exercise by Bharatiya Janata Party was only to get endorsement for delimitation. Women reservation bill has unanimously been consented upon by everybody in the parliament. But if they were really sincere, if they were really, so sincere and honest about it, they would have implemented in 2023, or not make it conditional for the delimitation to come into force and then use it to their own interest for modifying the political geography or whatever. I still say that if you implement it now, the entire opposition will be behind it, including Aam Aadmi Party, because we firmly believe in the relevance and validity of this bill. It's a very important bill. But let's not go round and round. Let's not hit two birds with one stone. Just keep the two things separate. Women reservation bill should come into effect, immediate implementation, and not wait till the delimitation or the further division of the country. Because if flaws are introduced at this stage, then it will be very difficult to do away with these flaws with a very fundamental bill that we are looking at.
I think I'm left with 2 or 3 minutes. Let me go to each one of you. I'll give you 30 to 40 seconds. Let's just get your last response to this. Chitra Surbi Hodigere, go ahead.
could I please ask the very politically astute spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party whether their party voted in favor of the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam in 2023 when delimitation was already linked to implementation of the Women's Reservation Bill? Do they remember Section 5? Your own party, ma'am, has voted in favor of reservation in Parliament after delimitation, after the first census, after 2026. Can I remind you of this? What happened in 2023?
That was not the sole condition.
Did you not have seats in Parliament? Am I wrong? Why did you change your mind today when this discussion is happening where we are saying that let us take this head on? I come from the southern part of India where we have to contend with the conversation on delimitation. A never-ending freeze cannot happen in this country. There is 20 lakh people to one representative in my own constituency. We need to further democracy. We need to further representation. Did your party, just a pointed question, did your party not read the bill when they voted for it in 2023? Yes or no?
We read it, but the reputation of
Thank you.
Bharatiya Janata
There was
Party
always a
cannot be
linking of
trusted.
delimitation to
President, when
reservation.
we can,
Today,
we
what we are
cannot
attempting to do is
be
further
happy
ensure
with
that
the
reservation
party.
comes in 2029. I'm speaking, you had your turn to speak. If you had read the bill, then you would know the delimitation and reservation was linked. What we're trying to do today was ensure, contend with this difficult question of delimitation. It is not breaking the country. What breaking the country is what your allies, the DMK and the Congress are saying, which is that if the South doesn't get X amount, North doesn't get X amount, we will not, we will protest. When there is a proportional system, 50%.
Okay, all right. Since you, all right, Mr. B, let me get in. Let me get others to respond at this point. Dr. Nimi, you have a right to respond. She was asking you the question. Dr. Nimi, go ahead, respond.
See, the thing is, this was not the only agenda. This severe condition has been put in now, and now that they've run out of their options of manipulating the elections with EC, with vote cut, and all kinds of ED and CBI raid, now they want to use it as a toolkit to serve their own political needs. It is reeking of self-serving objectives of Bharatiya Janata Party.
You voted for this bill. You voted for the act to come in place, which is already linked to delimitation.
Yes, in all good interest. Even now, we are in favor.
Why do you not want the southern states to have a fair share of seats? Why do you not want delimitation?
Not just 33, 50% should be there. It should be linked with male-female ratio in every state. We are that progressive. But looking at the ulterior motive and nefarious attitude, I don't think we can trust Bharatiya Janata Party to have a free run with the delimitation.
All right, okay. I'm totally out of time. Let me get the others to respond. Their last responses on this. Vinita Hariharan, let's just come to you. Vinita Hariharan, you know, elections are still going on. There are two important states that are going to vote. One of them, two, including Tamil Nadu as well as Puducherry in the south, and you have West Bengal that's also going to vote. Very critical states. Do or die battles for all political parties involved. And clearly, whether it was in Parliament, Amit Shah repeatedly spoke about Tamil Nadu specifically. The way Stalin has responded from Tamil Nadu, the battle lines are very clear because MK Stalin has not minced his words in the past as well. He has made it very clear. The election is not about Tamil Nadu alone. The election is about Delhi versus Tamil Nadu.
This Delhi versus Tamil Nadu is a version that Tamil Nadu is stitching. Delhi has never, or in capital has never ignored the southern states, or this government has never has there been so much of an inclusive government than it is today. The kind of inclusive efforts that the Prime Minister has taken to to make the southern states feel included has never been done before. So everybody knows that it's ingrained in the ethos of the country today. So
but Vinita, to put that in perspective, if you look at the seats in the assemblies, and this was not only about parliamentary representation, this was also about representation of women in assemblies, in state assemblies, in union territories. So it had a whole lot of ramifications. And now in Tamil Nadu, the way Stalin has pitched it, you may say that it's been an inclusive government. And that's, depending upon which spectrum one comes from, that's fine. One can have that opinion. But South is a bastion that the BJP-led NDA is still trying to maneuver its way around. Contrast to the North.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a resistance from the people of the South for whatever reason, for the the kind of they still kind of are left behind, very sadly so, in the nation building ethos. So there is chance for them to be a part of the
That's a
nation
difficult
building,
one, Vinita Hariharan. That's a very difficult
I
one.
mean-
I think the contributions of South of India cannot be just sidelined like that. If you're saying
Nobody
they're
is,
left behind, I don't
discounting
think
the
that's something that's
contribution of the South
acceptable
of
at
India.
all.
Nobody is
Whether it
discounting
comes
the
to the
contribution
Human
of the South of
Development
India.
Index,
This
whether it comes to the
North-South divide
contribution
is
in
a narrative that
workforce,
is stitched
whether
by
it
the
comes to
DMK
education,
government. It's
employment,
not
I
stitched
don't
by the
think
Modi
you can
government.
keep South of India
No,
aside.
no,
You
we're
may
not
have your
keeping
political
South
debates,
at
and
all.
everybody
No.
has the right to have a
Sneha,
political
let me
debate, but to
speak.
say
I'm
South of
saying
India
that
is left
this
behind, I think
North-South
is a way
divide-
to taking it way too far.
North-South, who's taking it far? North-South divide is a narrative that is stitched by the DMK government. It's not stitched by the Modi government. There is no North-South divide as per the Modi government.
Okay.
It's one India, it's one Bharat.
All right. We're totally out of time, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. A very, very important, historic day at so many levels, and some very important political battles that lie ahead. One thing that I think all women in India will be looking at: when does 33% of representation in parliament and in assemblies become their reality? That's a question that still remains unanswered decades and decades and decades later, beyond all politics, beyond what happened, beyond the historic fierce debate in parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an answer, that's a question that still remains unanswered. On that note, thank you, ladies, for joining me, for your very important perspectives. It's time for a short break.